Part 24. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 231. It is not known whether this mutant skeleton was lucky or Duanlei and his team were unlucky. The area chosen by this mutant skeleton just happened to include the storage location of those materials and equipment. Otherwise, perhaps Duanlei and his team could have transported all those materials and equipment back smoothly without any danger. Because the mutant skeleton is a skeleton after all, it does not know when to go to battle. The order it gave to the mutant corpse king was to wait until all humans were surrounded by them, and then release all zombies and kill all those humans, because it still remembered Duanlei and knew that Duanlei might allow it to advance again. Therefore, if Duanlei and his team did not come here, even if they went to the ruins of the Sci-Fi and emptied the things there, perhaps these zombies would pretend not to see it, because these humans have not been surrounded by them. According to the order of the leader, they cannot attack. It was just that Duanlei and his team's target this time was exactly the ambush circle prepared by the mutant skeletons for them, which doomed this battle between them. Fortunately, Duanlei was smart and realized that something was wrong. He stopped advancing at the edge of the ambush circle and listed a defensive formation, which gave them a chance to defeat the zombies. If Duanlei did not order the team to stop and directly followed the instructions of the bridge expert to the storage location of the materials and equipment, then before they reached the designated location, they would all enter the encirclement of zombies and be suddenly attacked by the zombies on the way. Although they would be prepared on the way, because of the formation, coupled with hundreds of mutant zombies descending from the air and attacking them from above, they might not be able to hold on for long and would be wiped out, and they would not even have the chance to escape by driving a hurricane. As it is now, although the situation is still not optimistic, at least they occupy a favorable terrain, allowing the Guardian warriors to deploy their own defensive formations, showing the tacit cooperation between them, and not being trapped in a small space and fighting on their own. Moreover, Duanlei believed in his guess very much. Even after forming a defense array, he did not find any movement and did not act rashly. Instead, he asked Lu Wanting and Zhang Xiu, two agile evolvers, to test and throw 2 grenades. The zombie army is not a human army. Although they are in ambush, they will not be beaten without fighting back. After the grenade exploded, the zombies in the 2 buildings rushed out first, and the other ambushed zombies naturally thought that the attack had begun, so they also rushed out and surrounded Duanlei and his team. These zombies did not find that Duanlei and his team were in a wrong position. Anyway, according to the leader's intention, it was right to surround them, no matter where they were surrounded, so in the end, the current situation was formed, which was neither good nor bad. This was neither good nor bad for both parties. Duanlei and his team naturally could not say it was good, but compared with the latter result, it was obviously not the worst now. Although the zombies did not wait for Duanlei and his team to enter the best location, they were surrounded anyway. The mission was barely completed. Amid the laughter of Duanlei and others, the zombies had already surrounded them and began to approach Duanlei and others. In the defense formation, the 6-barreled machine guns on the 4 Hurricanes had begun to roar, and the guards on the roofs also began to fire. Although the ammunition carried this time was sufficient, it was not enough compared to the number of zombies. Therefore, without the order of Duanlei and others, the guards began to save ammunition consciously in order to hold on for a while longer. "Big guy. Do you see that?" Duanlei said to Luqiang behind him. Luqiang looked in the direction Duanlei indicated, and then looked around himself, and immediately understood what Duanlei meant, because the location Duanlei mentioned was the most densely populated place for mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings in the zombie group, with more than 200 mutant zombies and 3 mutant zombie kings. Maybe the battle has just begun now, or maybe the mutant skeleton does not want to lose too many high-end troops. Now, only wanderers and enhanced zombies have joined the offensive sequence, and mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings are watching from a distance of 1 kilometer away. In the previous battle with the zombies, Doomsday had released a thunderstorm, which directly killed 12 mutant zombies. Doomsday also knew that his thunderstorm was also effective against mutant zombies with abnormal defense, so he targeted those mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings. Because Lu Qiang threw Doomsday out last time he released the thunderstorm, because Lu Qiang was a power-type evolver, and his strength increased after the transformation. Only he could throw Doomsday 2 kilometers away after the transformation. Moreover, Doomsday's thunderstorm is indiscriminate damage, which Doomsday himself has no way to control. All creatures within the range of the thunderstorm will be attacked by the thunderstorm. In other words, Doomsday must be 2 kilometers away from everyone to release the thunderstorm. If it is launched here, Doomsday can kill everyone in the Hope base without the zombie army. Lu Qiang understood what Doomsday meant, but he was obviously a little hesitant, because he saw Doomsday's situation very clearly last time. If Wang Mi had not been there and killed the mutant corpse king who was about to attack Doomsday, and caught the falling Doomsday, Doomsday would have either been killed by the mutant corpse king or fallen to death. Now, the situation is much worse than last time. If I throw Doomsday out, Doomsday may never come back. Losing Wang Feng and losing Doomsday again, even if they can go back alive, they cannot stabilize the base of Hope. Although there is an instructor in Hope Base, the instructor never takes care of things, and he is only familiar with Wang Feng and Doomsday. After these two people died one after another, will instructor Li Yingning still stay in Hope Base? Seeing Lu Qiang's hesitation, Doomsday said with a smile, "Big man. Now is not the time to think so much. The leader of this zombie wave is not a human, so we still have hope. If it doesn't retain its strength when it comes up, let those all the mutated zombies are coming, do you think we can resist hundreds of mutated zombies?" Lu Feng, Lu Wanting and others on the side heard Doomsday's words and shook their heads. Others may not know it, but they are all people who have experienced fighting against mutant zombies. Chen Xiaoan died under the attack of mutant zombies, and even the corpse they were all torn to pieces on the spot. Not to mention hundreds, I'm afraid if 100 mutated zombies attack at the same time, our side will definitely lose troops. More importantly, the attack of mutated zombies will also disrupt the current formation of the Guardian Warriors. By that time, I'm afraid they will be far away from each other. The entire army is annihilated, which is not far away. So, I must attack now and use thunderstorms to kill those mutated zombies and the mutated zombie king. In this way, maybe the leader of this group of zombies will use a rat weapon and dare not send mutant zombies to attack. In that case, we will still have hope. Doomsday said seriously. In fact, Doomsday regrets it now. If he could have known the ambush location of these zombies and knew that these zombies were hiding in these high-rise buildings, Doomsday would have used vehicle-mounted missiles to send them into the sky. Where? If they are still in crisis like now, even if the missile destroys those materials and equipment, Doomsday will never hesitate. Now this situation. Doomsday can only work hard on his own. As long as he can achieve his goal, Doomsday feels that it is worth it even if he can't come back. Li Tianxiang, Zhang Xiu, Doomsday shouted, "I will let the big man throw me out in a while. I want to release my superpower. The moment my superpower disappears, I need you two to run under me immediately. Go and catch me, otherwise I may fall to death, and you have to be careful of attacks from other zombies, such as mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings. Remember, be careful. When you rush over, watch what's going on around you. If the situation goes bad, give up on me. I still have this at this point." Doomsday smiled and shook a hand in his hand. "A grenade. Ting ting. If I use this thing, then the Hope base will be handed over to you. With the help of Lu Feng and Big Man, you must maintain the Hope base, haha. These are my last words." After saying this, Doomsday shouted to Lu Qiang, "Big man. Start. You must be on point in your throw. Look at those high-rise buildings. Don't just throw me to the wall and kill me. Don't worry. Even if I throw you over there, you won't die. You are an evolver after all. Lu Qiang grinned and relaxed the atmosphere. Then, he took a deep breath and activated his own power, transformation. After completing the transformation, Lu Qiang, a 3-meter-tall strong man, directly pulled up Duanlei. Without any hesitation, he waved his arm in the air, and Duanlei flew towards the place where hundreds of high-level zombies gathered. After Lu Qiang threw Duanlei out, the soul fire in the eyes of the mutated skeleton that had been watching the battle in the distance jumped, as if it was remembering something. Suddenly, it let out a shrill roar. Don't ask how the old fantasy skeleton could scream. No, Lao Huan doesn't know, this is just a novel, and then its body flew towards the periphery at a very fast speed. It seemed to have remembered Duanlei's skill, and was afraid that it was also within the range of the skill, so it hurriedly fled away. Go. The 2 mutant zombie kings behind it naturally followed the mutant skeleton closely, but one of these 2 guys seemed to be a bit unlucky. Their location was at the top of a building, and the mutant skeleton rushed to the top. From the edge, he jumped up and fell toward the outside. Another mutant zombie king also fell together with the mutant skeleton. When the mutant zombie king at the end jumped up, it seemed that he didn't grasp the angle well. As soon as he jumped out, he rolled all the way and fell. After that, he fell sideways to the ground. Even though its defense was very strong, it fell down. Time can't stand up either. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 232. Of course, the mutant skeleton ignored the straggler and led another mutant zombie king to run towards the outside at full speed. Its previous roar was to warn the mutant zombies. As for whether they could run away, the mutant skeleton didn't care. Duanlei was close to the mutated zombies at this time, but found that the mutated zombies and the mutated zombie king were running away. Duanlei was shocked, but now he was less than 2 kilometers away from the defensive array. If a thunderstorm was launched now, it would be harmful to him. One of his own caused accidental damage, and could only watch helplessly as the zombies fled in all directions. Because he was in the air, Duanlei could not change his sight. He could only silently calculate the distance between himself and the defensive array. When he was just over 2 kilometers away, Duanlei immediately launched a thunderstorm. A huge light shield rose instantly, and a series of thunder and lightning. The beam of light was instantly released from Duanlei's body and attacked the zombies below, forming a huge power grid in an instant. This is also because the mutated skeleton has seen thunderstorms and was frightened by its power. Otherwise, if the mutated skeleton did not send a signal to escape to the mutated zombies and the mutated zombie king, those mutated zombies would have seen Duanlei. Flying in the air, he might come to intercept him. In that case, Duanlei would really be in some trouble. Here, only a few guardian warriors, Lu Qiang and Li Tianxiang, had seen Duanlei's thunderstorm. It was the first time for the others to see Duanlei release his powers. They all looked dumbfounded at Duanlei in mid-air, and the thunderstorm dome below him. Even the guardian warriors defending the side stopped shooting and looked at Duanlei, because the thunderstorm had shrouded all in front of them, and no zombies could break out. In the light shield, electric light flashed, turning the entire light shield into extremely dazzling. The thunderstorm also only lasted for a few seconds, and then disappeared, revealing an empty area with dozens of zombie corpses that had been electrocuted into charcoal. These were mutated zombies that had not been able to escape the scope of the thunderstorm. The total number should be 80 or 90. Because of the obstruction of buildings, there is no way to know the detailed number. Thunderstorms are only effective against living creatures and cannot destroy buildings. The moment the thunderstorm's light shield disappeared, Li Tianxiang and Zhang Xiu, the 2 fastest agile evolvers, rushed towards Duanlei and launched at the same time. His own power, Zhang Xiu's power, is to rush forward, which can accelerate instantly and rush forward quickly for a certain distance, but he cannot change direction during this period. It seems to be weaker than Wang Feng's power. However, Zhang Xiu's superpower can only last for 10 seconds at a time, and the acceleration is also 300%. Because of its short duration, it can be activated multiple times in a battle. It can be said that it is different from Wang Feng's superpower. Li Tianxiang's superpower is sprinting, which increases his speed by 220% and lasts for 1 minute. However, it only increases his running speed. Compared with Wang Feng's Gale and Zhang Xiu's Rush, it seems to be a level lower, but it is just right for this task. Duan Lei's previous thought that mutated zombies or mutated zombie kings would attack him did not happen. Because of the warning from the mutated skeletons, they ran far away for a while and did not even think about attacking Duan Lei. Therefore, Zhang Xiu and Li Tianxiang brought Duan Lei back very smoothly. The emergence of thunderstorms slowed down the defense on this side. Due to the withdrawal of mutant zombies, the attacks of other zombies also became somewhat chaotic, which finally made everyone in the Hope base breathe a sigh of relief. However, their crisis was not resolved. Duan Lei's thunderstorm caused a vacuum zone to appear in the zombie wave. However, this vacuum zone was immediately filled again by other zombies. The whole process did not even take 2 minutes. After Duan Lei was rescued, he did not enter the hurricane. Although there was a 360-degree camera in the hurricane, and he could observe the surrounding environment in the carriage, it was still not as clear as standing outside. After launching the hurricane, he will no longer be in coma for a period of time as before, but the sequelae of the hurricane have not weakened at all. It is still a week. In other words, for the next week, Duan Lei can only be an ordinary person. Of course, the premise is that they can survive this crisis smoothly, otherwise, Duan Lei may not be able to do it even for ordinary people. Although Duan Lei has lost his power now, his intelligence has not decreased at all. Seeing the reactions of the zombies around him, Duan Lei knew that his strategy was successful. The power of the thunderstorm really frightened the skeleton. When the skeleton roared to warn the mutant zombies, Duan Lei, who was flying in the air, turned his head and glanced. From the 2 mutant zombie kings behind the skeleton, Duan Lei immediately guessed the identity of the skeleton. The leader of this corpse group. Seeing the leader running backwards, Duan Lei couldn't help but feel helpless. If they didn't run away, they would be directly enveloped by Duan Lei's thunderstorm. Their position was just on the edge of the thunderstorm. If they could kill this skeleton, this would the next crisis will no longer exist. However, this skeleton was so afraid because it had seen the power of thunderstorms. Even after Duan Lei released the thunderstorm, it still did not let the mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings join the attack. It only let those wanderers and enhanced zombies who were cannon fodder to attack. The zombie C tactics kept attacking Duan Lei and the others. The gunshots of the guards and the roar of the 6-barrel machine guns sounded again. Perhaps because of the loss of many mutant zombies, the mutant skeletons accelerated the attack frequency of the low-level zombies. Now, the 6-barrel machine guns on the 8 hurricanes have all opened fire, which barely pushed the zombies 50 meters away from the defense position. The evolvers did not make a move. Except for Duan Lei, Lu Qiang, Li Tianxiang, and Zhang Xiu, the others still maintained their peak combat power. Even Zhang Xiu and Li Tianxiang did not lose too much physical strength and could recover after a rest. This state lasted for an hour. Duan Lei began to feel bad because he roughly guessed what the Skeleton King was up to. It must be waiting for dark, using these low-level zombies during the day to consume the ammunition and physical strength of the guards, and then waiting until nightfall, and then sending mutant zombies to attack in the dark. However, even though he knew the skeleton's plan, Duan Lei still had no good way to deal with it. Although the defensive formation formed by these vehicles is suitable for defense, it is not suitable for breaking through. Moreover, the zombies are attacking fiercely now, and they have no time to transfer the formation. They can only take one step at a time. Everyone, pay attention, Try to save your energy. I estimate that at night, it will be the most dangerous time for us. After all, the night is the world of zombies, Doomsday reminded the guards loudly. As for the evolvers, there is nothing to remind. Because they did not join the battle at all, not because of their status, but because the instructor's training for these evolvers was targeted, and there was no training in hot weapons, because in Li Yingning's view, it was a waste for evolvers to train hot weapons, and hot weapons would definitely be eliminated in the end. Cold weapons are the main weapons in this resource-scarce Doomsday. So these evolvers' marksmanship is not good. Instead of wasting ammunition, it is better to watch the battle from the sidelines. Moreover, even if they take the initiative to join the battle, the guards may dislike them for being in the way and not knowing how to cooperate. Now among these evolvers, except for Yunfei, Taizu, and Chen Tianhao who ran to the Hurricane's carriage to help the guards get ammunition, other evolvers also sat on the top of the truck to help these guards load magazines. A group of evolvers actually helped the enhancers and became logistics soldiers. It was a rare scene. Time passed slowly, and it was already afternoon in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, all the guards were enhancers, and their physical strength could keep up. Moreover, they had rich combat experience and knew that this battle might last for a long time, so basically all of them were single-shot bursts, and they all used rifles, submachine guns, and pistols in turn. No one withdrew from the battle because of the damage of the gun. If they had been using rifles from the beginning, it is estimated that all the rifles would have stalled because of overheating of the barrel. The 6-barrel machine gun did not have this problem. The configuration of the Hurricane was definitely the best in the entire army. Fortunately, it was like this, otherwise, the Guard Corps would really not be able to persist until now. Mainly the corpses of zombies. They have killed millions of zombies. How high would the corpses be if they were piled up? If it weren't for the 6-barreled machine gun that would be used to break the corpse walls every time the corpses reached a certain height, I'm afraid the corpses of zombies would have been able to overwhelm this defense array. Doomsday didn't let the guards use incendiary bombs, because they didn't have much of this kind of thing, and it wouldn't be of much use to use it now. Fire can indeed ignite zombies, but it will also block the sight of the guards, and in such a short distance, it is not enough to burn the zombies to death, and in the end, a bullet will still be wasted. Since Doomsday has guessed that the zombies will attack at night, the incendiary bombs must be used at night. During the day, the flames and smoke will block the sight, but at night, they become the best lighting tools. It's so frustrating. No. I'm going out to fight. After Lu Feng loaded a magazine, he threw the magazine into the helmet in front of him and slapped his palm hard on the carriage. After being a logistics soldier for so long, Lu Feng finally couldn't help it. I'm going to, Tang Haoshan interrupted before Lu Feng finished speaking, showing that he had been holding it in for a long time. To be honest, they were obviously the strongest fighting force, but the battle had been going on for so long, and except for Doomsday who showed his skills, the other evolvers had almost no effect at all. No wonder they felt aggrieved. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 233. Lu Feng and Tang Haoshan's suggestions were responded to by all other evolvers. As evolvers, hiding in the defense circle formed by enhancers to watch the fun was awkward for anyone. This was just like letting a group of women and children take the lead in the battlefield, while a group of men hid behind. These evolvers felt a little embarrassed, although the guards did not react at all, because they knew that when the mutant zombies attacked, it was the time for these evolvers to join the battle. Doomsday listened to them and did not object. Instead, he looked at the situation on the battlefield and nodded, saying, "In that case, you should attack once, but remember, don't rush out too far. You must ensure that you can withdraw quickly, especially when you see mutant zombies joining. In addition, don't activate your superpowers unless it's a critical moment. After saying this, Duanlei ordered the guards in one direction, everyone stop firing on this side, take the time to rest, and then replace the other side. All the evolvers, attack from this side. Duanlei chose the direction opposite to the direction of his thunderstorm just now. When he activated his superpower just now, the guards on that side had a few minutes of breathing time, and the skeleton was also there. After receiving Duanlei's order, the guards on this side all stopped firing, and the evolvers all rushed out immediately, leaving only Lucian guarding Duanlei. Now Duanlei is equivalent to an ordinary person. If there are mutant zombies or mutant corpse kings sneaking over, Duanlei will be in trouble, especially the mutant corpse king, which is small in size and can't be seen at all when hiding in the corpse group. In the past, they were the leaders themselves, and they might not take risks personally because they valued their reputation. But now they have all become subordinates of the mutant skeleton. Obviously, the mutant skeleton will not take them too seriously. Lu Feng and others lined up and faced the zombies head-on. After holding back for a long time, they were like tigers entering a flock of sheep. They rushed into the zombies for more than 10 meters in an instant. They didn't care about the 1 or 2 zombies they occasionally let go. A single low-level zombie was no threat to the defense formation. Because they were all evolvers, they didn't have to worry about being infected with the virus even if they were bitten or scratched by zombies. Therefore, these enhancers had no scruples at all. They almost gave up defense and attacked with all their strength, pushing the line that was originally about 50 meters away from the defense position forward to 100 meters. However, they all remembered Duanlei's words. After reaching 100 meters, they stopped chasing and retreated instead. By the way, they took a short rest. When the zombies advanced to 30 or 40 meters again, they started to slaughter again, advancing to 100 meters again, and then retreated again. After repeating this several times, a platform nearly 1 meter high, 100 meters long and nearly 20 meters wide, appeared in front of them, which was piled up with zombie corpses. The densely packed zombie platform made people shudder. Lu Feng and Tang Haoshan were a little stunned. If they continued to kill like this, such a large area of zombie platform would not be able to be swept flat by a 6-barrel machine gun, so they turned back to look at Duanlei. Duanlei had already discovered the situation, but he looked at the sky, then nodded and signaled them to continue. However, since the platform was a bit high, it was not easy for the clumsy zombies to climb up, especially since this platform was piled up with zombie corpses, and the surface was definitely not flat, so the gathering of zombies was getting slower and slower. Since the evolvers took over the defense of one side, the guards finally had the opportunity to be replaced, and the defense seemed easier. Some soldiers who were rotated down to rest even disassembled their guns on the roof of the car, did some maintenance on the spot, and then assembled them again. However, Duanlei was a little surprised that the skeleton over there did not change at all, as if they did not look at this side, and Duanlei had no idea that for this mutant skeleton, the number of zombies under its command was not important, but the number of high-level zombies. As long as it had enough mutant corpse kings, it could have as many low-level zombies as it wanted. What Duanlei did not notice was that the zombies that had been wandering throughout Haki City had basically disappeared now, because they had been added to the army of this mutant skeleton. Therefore, in the previous war of attrition, the mutant skeleton had basically no losses, except for Duanlei's thunderstorm. Duanlei's guess was correct. After that thunderstorm, the mutant skeleton was obviously much more careful and did not show its head at all. Even the mutant corpse king and mutant zombies were all hidden by it. If it were not for the fact that the energy gathered on Duanlei's body was too attractive to it when he launched the thunderstorm, the mutant skeleton almost wanted to give up this attack. In fact, this was the illusion of the mutant skeleton, because when Duanlei launched the thunderstorm, he was just a trigger, triggering the energy of all creatures within the thunderstorm range, converting it into lightning attacks, and in this conversion process, a little biological energy in each creature would be drawn away and returned to Doomsday's body. Because the thunderstorm covered a large area and lasted only a few seconds, at that moment, the life energy accumulated in Doomsday's body was definitely a terrifying number, but most of this life energy would be used to make up for the loss of the origin of life, and only a small part would be absorbed by Doomsday himself. Otherwise, Doomsday's thunderstorm just now killed at least nearly 100 mutant zombies. The energy of these mutant zombies alone can at least make him reach the level of a third-level evolver, and may even break through to the next stage. Therefore, the mutant skeleton believes that if Doomsday is killed and all the energy in his body is absorbed, he may be able to take another step forward, which is why the mutant skeleton has persisted until now and refused to give up surrounding Doomsday and his team. However, this mutant skeleton is just a zombie after all, and it is far from human vision. In fact, even if it stops attacking now and only lets those zombies besiege Doomsday and his team outside, Doomsday will never dare to easily disband the defense formation and break through. Just now, because the zombies were all hiding in the dark and did not interfere with them, the guards easily completed this defense formation. If it was formed in a hurry, at least the 10 trucks would be abandoned outside the defense formation. However, the situation caused by the attack of the evolvers now makes the mutant skeleton a little irritable, because the appearance of the platform will obviously make it very inconvenient when launching a general attack. That platform would greatly slow down the Wanderer's speed. I'm afraid only the enhanced zombies could maintain their attack speed on that platform, but the problem is that the platform is still rising, so the mutant skeleton finally decided to take some action. At this time, the platform in front of the evolvers was almost 1.5 meters high, forming a platform of 20 meters wide and more than 100 meters long, more than 50 meters away from the defense array. The evolvers used to put the zombies 30 or 40 meters away before starting to attack, but after discovering this problem, they pushed the battle line to 50 meters away. In this way, when the zombies fall from the platform, they have a chance to buffer. If they are too close, those enhanced zombies or mutant zombies may rush into their defense array as soon as they get off the platform. Seeing that the zombies covered the platform again, Lu Feng shouted, "Go!" Then, the evolvers went hand in hand and rushed to the platform again. Such a low platform can be said to have no effect on these evolvers, and they will now grasp the opportunity and launch earlier and earlier, making the zombies move further and further back, and now a slope has formed on their side. This is undoubtedly more advantageous for them, but this time when the evolvers rushed to the middle of the platform, an unexpected situation suddenly occurred. More than a dozen mutant zombies crawled on the ground with their backs bent, hiding their tall stature. When Lu Feng and his team were about to approach them, these mutant zombies suddenly attacked together and rushed towards Lu Wanting and Zhang Xiu in the middle of the team. As soon as they showed their bodies, the evolvers discovered that there were a total of 12 mutant zombies, 6 in a group, focusing on Lu Wanting and Zhang Xiu. It seems that the mutant skeleton still remembered the scene of killing Chen Xiaoan before. This time, it used this method again to attack. It did not choose the evolvers on both sides, probably because the mutant zombies were tall and it was not easy to hide on both sides. However, the mutant skeletons can remember Chen Xiaoan's death, so why can't Lu Feng remember it? In particular, this time they attacked Lu Wanting and Zhang Xiu, 2 evolvers who had experienced this kind of attack before. When the 12 mutant zombies pounced in front of the 2 women, the 2 women did not think about it and retreated directly to avoid their attacks. This time was different from the last time. Last time, Wang Feng led the team, and the others broke through in a cone. The distance between people was not close enough, but now these evolvers were lined up in a straight line, and there was no threat of zombies behind. While these mutant zombies pounced on the 2 women, all the evolvers on both sides gave up the zombies in front of them and pounced on the middle together, attacking those evolved zombies. Since Wang Feng had told Lu Feng and the others about the weaknesses of the evolved zombies, these evolvers now all knew it. The sound of puff, 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 rang continuously. Only 2 mutant zombies that failed to attack escaped, and 10 mutant zombies died directly under the siege of the evolvers on both sides. The mutant skeletons plot was a complete failure. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 234. Before setting off, Du Enlai and his team had already told the evolutionists who had never been to Haki City about the previous battle process in detail, especially the part about mutant zombies, including the part where Chen Shaoan was killed. After that, they specifically targeted the mutant zombies' concentrated fire attack and arranged several counter-attack methods. Last time, because there was no tacit understanding, everyone's rescue direction was different, which led to Chen Shaoan's death. If all people can focus on attacking 1 or 2 places and cooperate more tacitly, then the mutant zombies' attack method is not so difficult to deal with. This time, let alone the mutant skeletons only sent out 12 mutant zombies, even if each person still sent 4, Lu Feng and his team were sure to kill a few mutant zombies without losing a single person. You know, they just killed 10 mutant zombies in an instant, but no one activated their superpowers. Although Taizu, Lu Feng, and Meng Fei were all injured, they did not lose their combat effectiveness. This also shows the difference between the power-type evolvers and the agility-type evolvers. At least from the current point of view, the agility-type evolvers have some advantages, because their speed is much faster than that of the power-type evolvers, and they are more flexible in dodging. If the power-type evolvers do not use their superpowers, they will only be much stronger, but their strength will not be enough to kill the mutant zombies with one punch, so they still have to rely on sharp blades. In this way, the advantage of strength is reduced a lot, but there is no way. The evolutionary direction suitable for each person is determined by his own physique. Although if it must be changed, because of the existence of Wang Feng, it is also possible. People with power physique can also use agility-type evolution potions to turn themselves into agility-type evolvers, but the superpowers they get may be much worse. Besides, the end of the world has only started for less than a year. Who knows what changes will happen later? So basically everyone chooses the evolutionary direction according to their own physique. After killing the 10 mutant zombies, Lu Feng and his team did not move forward, but dragged the bodies of the mutant zombies back to the defense formation and threw the bodies into the hurricane. Now without Wang Feng, they can only cultivate evolvers by themselves. These evolved zombies may allow Hope Base to have 1 or 2 more evolvers. Now they feel that the days without Wang Feng are really sad. After they put the mutant zombies away, the zombies on the platform were approaching, so Lu Feng and his team continued to kill until all the zombies on the platform were killed, and then retreated again, but this time the mutant skeleton did not send out mutant zombies to attack again. Mutated zombies are not cannon fodder, and they are not so easy to produce. Back then, there were only 2 zombies in Jianguan town with 100,000 zombies, and one of them was killed by the other mutant zombie. Moreover, mutant zombies are the main force that command the enhanced zombies and wanderers. In other words, it is these mutant zombies that really determine the number of zombies. If we use the military's expression, then the mutant skeleton is the commander, the mutant zombie king is the military chief, and the mutant zombies are the grassroots officers. The mobilization of the army is absolutely impossible without grassroots officers. Because of this, after sacrificing 10 mutant zombies, the mutant skeleton realized that this method was not very effective and stopped using this method, but it still did not dare to stop attacking Du Enlai and the others, and now it will be dark in an hour, so it can launch an attack. There was no movement on the mutant skeleton side, and Du Enlai did not dare to make any changes. Although he just killed 10 mutant zombies, it still did not have a big impact on the number of mutant zombies. When the zombies just emerged and Du Enlai did not launch the thunderstorm, the mutant zombies did not hide their bodies. Their 3-meter-tall bodies were very conspicuous in the zombie group. Just a rough look showed that there were more than 400 mutant zombies that appeared. Now Doomsday's thunderstorm should have killed 80 or 90 of them who did not have time to escape. With these 10, there are barely 100. Even if the mutant zombies seen are the total number of zombies in this group, there are still more than 300 mutant zombies. Moreover, after the failure of the sneak attack, it is estimated that the next time the mutant zombies appear, they should be all out, and there will be no more such tentative attacks. At that time, the real crisis will come. However, Doomsday has no other choice now. He can only take one step at a time. Retreat is definitely impossible. That is too risky, so he can only hold on. Maybe there will be a turnaround. Fortunately, they still have some Molotov cocktails and some flares. If the skeleton does not launch mutant zombies, but maintains such attacks, it should be able to hold on for a night. But it is definitely not a solution to keep wasting time like this, because zombies will not get tired, but the Guardian soldiers will, and neither will they. Moreover, their ammunition is not unlimited. Even though they have made sufficient preparations before and the Guardian soldiers have tried to save it as much as possible, most of it has been consumed after a day of fighting. Even if they can hold out for one night, they will only have cold weapons to kill zombies tomorrow. Once they enter that stage, the Guardian warriors will probably suffer a large number of casualties immediately, because they are not evolvers, but enhancers. Enhancers are not immune to zombie viruses. By then, even if they are caught by a zombie, even a small one wounds will also lead to loss of life. Now that there is no Wang Feng, there is naturally no evolutionary medicine to save their lives. Doomsday looked at the sky and smiled bitterly in his heart. Only now did he think that maybe he was too anxious. He wanted to make the Hope Base safe as soon as possible, but he did not expect that his one wrong decision ruined almost everyone in the Hope Base. Core personnel. If he could choose again, he would definitely not come here. Even if he didn't have to rebuild the Black Dragon Bridge, as long as he built a bridge defense fortress, Doomsday was sure that at least a group of corpses of this size would be absolutely impossible to capture. Haste makes waste. It seems that after Wang Feng died, he lost his previous calmness. In fact, it is not entirely Doomsday's fault. After all, he was not responsible for fighting before. For example, he would tell Wang Feng directly when it came to retrieving materials and equipment. Let him decide whether to take the risk or not. But Doomsday has no time to regret now. It will be dark soon, and it is estimated that the skeleton will start its real attack. What Doomsday is thinking now is whether he should just let the skeleton launch a real attack as soon as it gets dark. When attacking, try to delay it as long as possible. It should be very simple to delay the time. Just throw out the incendiary bombs and then add a few flares. It is estimated that the skeleton will not move rashly. But now, after a period of rotation and rest, the Guardian warriors have recovered a lot of physical strength. And there is currently enough ammunition, it is the best time to face a real battle. If it drags on, Doomsday is worried that it won't last until tomorrow. And even if it drags on until tomorrow, what can they do to stop the zombies when they are exhausted and out of ammunition? Originally, this issue was very easy for Doomsday to decide. He could just fight directly. It may be because of his previous wrong decision. Therefore, Doomsday has now lost his confidence and is a little afraid to make his own decision. This is very difficult for a commander. It is a very dangerous thing to say, but Doomsday obviously did not realize this. While the evolvers returned to the front of the defensive formation, Doomsday quickly expressed his doubts and wanted to hear everyone's thoughts. Unexpectedly, after Doomsday finished speaking, everyone did not give the answer directly as he imagined. Instead, they all looked at him strangely. People who were familiar with Doomsday, such as Lu Feng, Tang Haoshan, and others, had naturally discovered it. Something was wrong with Doomsday. People who were not familiar with Doomsday did not want to express their opinions at this time. As for the Guardian warriors, none of them were prepared to express their opinions, so the audience fell into silence. Xiaolei, you have to remember. You are the commander. All decisions have to be made by you. Moreover, our situation is very bad now. We may be wiped out at any time, so what we need now is a wise commander. Officer. I definitely don't want a commander who is hesitant. Lu Feng looked at Doomsday seriously and said. No matter what the outcome is, coming here is everyone's choice. You don't have to bear all this responsibility on yourself. Moreover, if you hadn't discovered something was wrong, could we have persisted until now? I'm afraid we would all have died long ago. At least, we haven't yet. There have been human losses, which means that, so far, your decisions have been correct. Xiaolei. I know what you were thinking just now, but that is definitely not what you should be thinking. Once you lose confidence in yourself, you will drag us into the abyss. There are still about 10 minutes before dark. I think you'd better take these 10 minutes to go inside the hurricane and think about it quietly. Should you review your mistakes now or find a way to take us out? If you don't return to your previous state, I can tell you. No one of us can go back this time. Lu Feng's words seemed to be everyone's words. After he finished speaking, Tang Haoshan, Lu Wanting and others did not say anything. They just nodded to Doomsday and turned their backs again, facing the platform made of zombie corpses. Lu Feng's words were like a drum in the evening and a bell in the morning, awakening Doomsday's consciousness. He finally discovered his mistake. Yes, it was not the time for him to reflect and review. That would only make him lose confidence. A commander without confidence would ruin any unit that accepted his command, even if this unit was once a fighting lion. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 235. Doomsday stood blankly on the top of the truck, his mind was empty. At this moment, Doomsday seemed to have suddenly fallen into a very mysterious state, a bit like the kind of epiphany. Doomsday's original evolutionary direction was very strange. After becoming an evolver, his physical fitness was not particularly enhanced. He was probably not much stronger than a third-level enhancer. Even last time, he launched a thunderstorm and absorbed a lot of life energy. His own energy level had almost reached the level of a second-level evolver, but his physical strength was still far inferior to that of a first-level evolver. Doomsday's evolutionary direction should belong to the intellectual direction. Not only is his mind very clear, he can think about several things at the same time without interfering with each other. Sometimes he even has some inexplicable premonitions, just like he felt something was wrong with the zombies just now, and insisted on staying and forming a defensive position. This move is undoubtedly the most important reason why they are still persisting and there is no loss of personnel. It's just that Doomsday foresaw the ending of his side, so he blamed himself for all these mistakes, felt guilty, lost confidence, and lost himself. Fortunately, Lu Feng woke him up in time, and no one present changed at all. They looked at Doomsday with no complaints or disappointment, but still trust and encouragement. In addition, Doomsday was clear-headed, so he immediately returned from the wrong path and found his lost self. Lu Qiang on the side looked at Doomsday with a blank look in his eyes, as if he had lost his soul. He was confused, but he did not move, nor did he disturb Doomsday. He just raised his vigilance and carefully observed the situation around him. Lu Qiang didn't know whether Doomsday's current condition was good or bad, but he felt that if he disturbed Doomsday, it would definitely not be a good thing. Fortunately, it was Lu Qiang who stayed to protect Doomsday, who was always steady. If it was Taizu, Yunfei, etc., they might think that Doomsday was in danger and would directly interrupt Doomsday's current state. Because Doomsday had just launched a thunderstorm, there was still a lot of life energy in his body at this moment. Originally, These life energies would slowly dissipate after replenishing the consumption of the source of life, and only a small part would be absorbed by Doonlay himself. However, the huge ups and downs of Doonlay's emotions brought him into a state of ethereal enlightenment. The life energy that was constantly dissipating in his body began to be absorbed by Doonlay's body, and the speed was getting faster and faster. However, Doonlay's state did not last for a long time. 5 minutes later, Doonlay woke up. At this time, the remaining life energy in his body had been completely absorbed, leaving no trace, and his true strength had barely entered the realm of a third-level evolver. However, due to the weakness after launching the thunderstorm, he was still only in the state of an ordinary person. This was because Doonlay entered the state of enlightenment too long after launching the thunderstorm. If he had entered the state just after launching the thunderstorm, Doonlay would definitely no longer be an evolver at this moment, but would have entered the next level. Big guy. You've worked hard. After Doonlay woke up, he looked at Luqiang beside him, nodded and smiled. He knew his condition just now, and was very glad that Luqiang was by his side. Although Doonlay was in a weak period and his combat power did not increase at all, his mind was clearer and he made a decision immediately. Luqiang nodded to Doonlay and did not speak, but his expression now seemed very relaxed. He could see from the smile on Doonlay's face that the once extremely confident Doonlay was back. As long as Doonlay recovered his condition, Luqiang didn't know whether he could break through, but he knew that even if the whole army was still annihilated in the end, it must be the best result they could achieve today. Luqiang no longer took life and death so seriously. When he first met Wang Feng, when he jumped out of the camp and rushed towards the zombies, Luqiang had already regarded himself as dead. Being able to live until now was a big profit for Luqiang. Doonlay looked at Lu Feng and the others. At this moment, they had rushed onto the platform again, killing the zombies on the platform. Doonlay did not speak, but looked carefully at the surrounding environment, with the light flashing in his eyes. I don't know what he was thinking. Lu Feng and the others came back soon. At this time, the highest point of the platform was close to 2 meters, and there was still a slope facing them. Old Lu. All of you come up. I'll tell you about the arrangements for the battle later, Doonlay said. Hearing Doonlay's words, Lu Feng and the others were relieved, because Doonlay was talking about his arrangements, not discussing with everyone, which meant that Doonlay had made a decision and their military advisor was back. Without saying a word, all the evolvers jumped onto the roof of the car, surrounded Doonlay in the middle, and all looked at Doonlay. Doonlay also glanced at everyone, suddenly smiled slightly, and asked softly, "Do you believe me?" Everyone looked at each other, and then Tang Haoshan said, "Okay, Xiaolei. There's no need to ask such questions, just say what's going on." "Okay," Doonlay nodded. "After dark, the leader of this zombie group, the skeleton, will definitely send mutant zombies to attack us. At that time, I need everyone to fully cooperate with me, because if I don't predict if it is wrong, it will not send out all the mutant zombies at once. Judging from the previous number, it will probably send out about 100 mutant zombies for a trial attack. When the time comes, I will instruct everyone on how to attack and defend. Please obey my command. Even if the direction I tell you to move forward is a place of death, I hope you will not hesitate and obey my orders completely. Okay. Raise your hands if you have any objections. Stand up now, don't let the situation slip and harm everyone." As soon as Doonlay finished speaking, Lu Feng said in a serious tone. However, nearly a minute passed, and still no one raised their hands. Doonlay nodded and continued, "I will number everyone now. Starting from Lao Lu, you are A, B, C." Doonlay numbered everyone with letters one by one, and then asked everyone to just remember their own number. For example, if Doonlay calls A, Lu Feng will know that he is calling him. Shout B, Tang Haoshan is about to react. This is not difficult, so everyone immediately said okay. When mutated zombies attack, the instructions I give will be like this, such as a 36, B45 Doomsday continued. You should know what the letters represent. The two numbers behind them represent the direction and distance respectively. A 36 tells Laulu to advance 6 meters in the 3 o'clock direction. If there is a zombie at that position, you can attack directly. If it's one of your own, just help, it's that simple. Can everyone understand? Everyone looked at each other and nodded. This was indeed very simple. Okay. If you understand, let's do an experiment first. It's not completely dark yet and we still have some time. Everyone must be fully proficient and bring this with them. After Doomsday finished speaking, he took out a bunch of small. Everyone took one of the small receivers and put it into their ears, because Doomsday was an ordinary person now, and in the middle of the battle, he might speak directly, and everyone might not be able to hear clearly. At that time, he couldn't repeat the order, so Doomsday took out these earpieces that they had felt awkward wearing before and asked them to wear them. In this way, his orders could be transmitted to their ears accurately. Just at this time, traces of zombies appeared again on the platform. Now, basically all the zombies who can get on the platform are enhanced zombies. Doomsday turned to the direction of the platform, took a breath, and then said softly, "Everyone." 12:55. Because the order was directed to all evolvers, Doomsday did not call out the previous number, but instead called the whole number. 12 is the direction of 12 o'clock, and 55 naturally means moving forward 55 meters, because everyone is now. As Doomsday turned to the platform, right in front of them, at the 12 o'clock direction, was the platform made of zombies. All the evolvers, including Lucian, rushed onto the platform. Then, following the instructions issued by Doomsday, a somewhat chaotic battle began, because some people, such as Zhangxiu, Taizu, Yunfei, and others, had not been involved before. I am not a soldier, so I am a little uncomfortable with the direction of the clock. Fortunately, there are enhanced zombies and wanderers in front of me, so there is no danger. CIA 63, KGB 45, Re 82, U 61. Doomsday kept issuing commands from his mouth, and kept looking at the battlefield without blinking. Whenever he felt that someone was familiar with his command, he would ask that person to withdraw. In the end, only the next iron pillar, this honest boy from the countryside, always reacted slowly to Doomsday's commands. Because he has to first think about the position of the second number on the dial, and then identify which direction it is, and then he can start to rush in that direction. Seeing that the sky had darkened, Doomsday sighed and shouted, "I-670." Taizu was stunned for a moment, then turned around and ran back. He looked at Doomsday with a sad face and said, "Brother Lei. I'm sorry. I'm really not used to this thing. I'm not pretending to be afraid of death. It's really. Taizu. It's okay. No matter what. I need someone by my side to protect me." Doomsday interrupted Taizu. Everyone present knew that Taizu was definitely not pretending. Although this boy was not, he likes to talk a lot, but everyone knows what he is like. Just like Chen Shaoan, he usually doesn't talk much, but in times of crisis, he can still stand up without hesitation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 236. If he had not experienced the mutant zombie attack, perhaps Chen Shaoan would still be living in obscurity. Among these core members, he would still be an inconspicuous existence like Yunfei and Taizu, and perhaps not many people would remember his name. It was not until the crisis of Lu Wanting that he burst out with a stunning performance, which made everyone remember his name, but he was already dead. The memory of him had nothing to do with him. He did not express his loyalty to Wang Feng, and made any heroic words of swearing to die with him. He just silently did what he thought he should do when he was needed. It is true that the times create heroes. When a certain person lives in a certain era and appears in a certain scene, perhaps he can become a hero who will be remembered for thousands of years. In another era, he may be drowned in the surging crowd and leave no trace of waves. If Lei Feng lived in our era, would he dare to do so many good things? If Bai Qi lived in our era, would he dare to kill so many people? If Confucius lived in our era, would he be called a saint? Or a saint bitch? Dong Fangshuo, who makes a living by fortune telling on the street, you want him to come out now? If he is not killed, it is because he calculated that a special force ranked first in the world is coming, so he closed the stall in advance. Everyone will experience countless points in their life. Some people meet the right one for them, so they leave their names, while more people do not meet it, so they are unknown. The point that Taizu encounters now is obviously not suitable for him, because if he is allowed to join, not only can he not help, but he may also cause trouble, so Duan Lei has to keep him by his side to protect himself. But this is also good. Duan Lei planned to hide in the hurricane before the mutant zombies attacked, so that all the evolvers could be released to participate in the battle, but it would always be a bit awkward to watch the battle in the hurricane, and Duan Lei now also vaguely feels that the target of the skeleton seems to be himself. Now that Taizu cannot participate in the station, it just happens that I can stand outside to command. In this way, it will be clearer and can minimize mistakes. So Taizu has played his role. Otherwise, if Taizu follows me to hide in the hurricane, this silly boy may get stuck in a dead end. Now, except for Taizu, everyone else has adapted to Duan Lei's command and can act immediately after the command is issued without any delay. Duan Lei summoned a dozen guards and gave them several orders, asking them to prepare first. Then, he ordered the guards again to restore the previous defense formation and circle around again to surround all the evolvers. The evolvers immediately took the time to rest, because according to Duan Lei's speculation, the first wave of mutant zombies attack may come soon. Duan Lei's guess was correct. After it was completely dark, the mutant skeletons could not wait to send out more than 100 mutant zombies. Under the leadership of a mutant zombie king, they appeared on the platform and rushed down to the defense array with a group of enhanced zombies without any pause. Fire, Duan Lei shouted, and then shouted, everyone attack. Following Duan Lei's order, several flares flew into the air, illuminating the surroundings of the defense array like daylight, and the incendiary bombs used for lighting suddenly seemed a little dim. Lu Feng and others also immediately passed the guards in front of them and rushed towards the mutant zombies. The guards on this side did not stop firing because of their advance. They still fired at the zombies with a calm expression. Their target was not the mutant zombies, but the enhanced zombies. Although these enhanced zombies basically did not pose a fatal threat to the evolvers, their actions were still restricted after their number increased, and killing them would waste the evolvers' time. Besides, the guards were very good at shooting, and with the flares, there was no chance of accidental injury. The evolvers quickly engaged the zombies in close combat. Perhaps because of the previous lesson, the mutant skeleton did not let the mutant zombies launch another concentrated fire attack, but directly pressed all the more than 100 mutant zombies on, letting them choose their own opponents. The mutant zombie king did not rush forward, but just stood on the platform to watch the battle. The mutant zombie king now was equivalent to the mutant skeleton's eyes. The mutant skeleton could see everything the mutant zombie king saw through mental control of the mutant zombie king. This was the real purpose of the mutant skeleton. The more than 100 mutant zombies it sent out were just a tentative attack. Out of its cautious nature, the mutant skeleton did not send out all of its members at once, but took a small part to make a tentative attack, wanting to see the true strength of these humans. In addition, it was also because it didn't know that Duan Lei's thunderstorm was only one time, and was afraid that if it sent out too many, Doomsday would kill them all at once, and then this mutant skeleton would be seriously injured instantly. Without the mutant zombies, it couldn't even control those ordinary zombies. Doomsday stared at the battlefield intently and began to issue a series of commands, A13, BC 11:4, Ku 12:6. While fighting, Lu Feng and his companions listened attentively to the commands issued by Doomsday. Whenever someone's number was called out, they would rush to their destination without any hesitation according to the number and distance behind. They did indeed follow Doomsday's orders meticulously according to their previous promises. Even Meng Fei, Li Tianxiang, and Li Gu, who had just joined, acted completely according to Doomsday's orders without knowing Doomsday's true ability. Even when Doomsday's command location was under the platform or where more than a dozen mutant zombies were, they did not hesitate at all and rushed forward resolutely. Lu Feng and his companions naturally trusted Doomsday. They did not believe that Doomsday would let them die in vain, while Meng Fei and Li Gu made a promise before. As a soldier, fulfilling the promise is the most basic principle. Moreover, obeying orders is originally the duty of a soldier. Therefore, even though they knew that there was danger ahead, the two of them gritted their teeth and rushed forward. Even if they died, they could not lose the honor of being a soldier. As for Li Tianxiang, he didn't have so many thoughts. He finally understood a truth. When you are alive, it doesn't matter what kind of people you live and how long you can live. The most important thing is what kind of people are around you. When he was in the Tianhuo base before, there were too many people to be wary of every day. Li Tianxiang even felt that the threat of zombies was far less than the threat brought by the people around him. At that time, Li Tianxiang could even predict that if he died in the Tianhuo base, it would probably be because of people, not zombies. That kind of life is too tiring. Even if he could live for 100 years, Li Tianxiang would not feel it was good, because in these 100 years, he would not have a day to really relax, and he would not have a day to enjoy the fun of life. Now, after seeing the performance of the people around him, Li Tianxiang finally understood why those dead guardian warriors were so calm at the beginning, and why Wang Feng would rush towards the two missiles without hesitation. If there were such a group of people around him, who were his brothers, people he could really trust and did not need any defense, he would make the same choice as Wang Feng. Li Tianxiang is in this mood now. No matter what order Doomsday issued, as long as he heard it, he would do it. The battle he is facing now can be said to be the most dangerous battle he has experienced after the end of the world, but Li Tianxiang feels that he is in the most relaxed mood now, because he doesn't have to think about anything at all, just follow Doomsday's instructions. As for the result, whether it is a great victory or a complete defeat, whether he lives or dies, Li Tianxiang feels that these have nothing to do with him. As long as he fully executes Doomsday's instructions, he is not responsible for the outcome, and he has no psychological pressure. Even if he dies, he can finally die peacefully. However, as time goes by, the faces of these evolvers begin to show surprised expressions, and soon turn into surprise. Lu Feng even starts to laugh wildly, ha 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 ha. Xiao Lei. Old Lu, I have always only obeyed crazy people, and now, you are included. Shut up. Don't bother Xiao Lei, Tang Haoshan shouted, but his face was also full of joy, because Doomsday created a miracle. From the beginning to now, the battle has lasted for nearly 10 minutes, and even the light of the flares has begun to dim, but so far, the evolvers have not lost a single person, and they have killed 30 or 40 mutant zombies. Although many of them were injured, none of them were fatally injured or seriously injured with limbs missing, which basically did not affect their combat effectiveness. Doomsday's precise calculations gave them a big surprise, and the most important thing is that so far, none of them has used their special abilities. In other words, each of them still retains at least 80% of their combat power. Doomsday's command is indeed incredible. There are obviously 4 or 5 mutant zombies in front of him, but when he rushed to them according to the command, either the mutant zombies had left and rushed to other people, or there were suddenly several more comrades around him, attacking the mutant zombies together. Or, he had just moved a distance according to Doomsday's order, and when he found that there was no target around him, he turned around and found that there were several mutant zombies where he was originally standing, roaring at him. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 237. Their current results are undoubtedly due to one person, Doomsday. It was his precise grasp of the details of the battlefield and his uninterrupted commands that created this miraculous victory. At this moment, Doomsday, in the hearts of everyone, was simply the incarnation of the god of war, a military god. Invincible commander. The battle is still going on, and Doomsday's eyes have never left the battlefield for a moment, and there is no pause in his mouth. A string of letters and numbers are coming out of his mouth continuously. Although Doomsday has been commanding so far, it can be said that the results are brilliant. But there is no trace of pride in his heart at this moment. He has now fully entered the state and has become a truly qualified commander. For Doomsday, no matter what kind of results he has achieved now, as long as the battle is not completely over, his emotions cannot fluctuate. An emotional person can never become a qualified battlefield commander. Tai Zhu stood behind Doomsday. He did not look at Doomsday and Lu Feng. He kept observing the surroundings, scanning the corpses to identify any possible crises, because Doomsday told Tai Zhu, the target of the zombies is probably him, so Tai Zhu must be careful. Doomsday said this, firstly because he really felt this, and he also expanded Tai Zhu's task to make it appear very arduous, so that maybe Tai Zhu would feel better. In fact, this was the case. After listening to Doomsday's words, Tai Zhu's originally depressed expression finally returned to normal, and he became extremely nervous. He seemed to know that his burden was heavy, so he became more and more serious. At this time, on the outskirts of Haki City, where Doomsday once launched missiles, a figure was standing there, watching the battle on Doomsday's side, and murmured, "It seems. You can still, if you persist for a while, let me see how much strength you can exert and to what extent you can achieve it." The battle is still going on. Tang Haoshan is staring at the side of a mutant beast. If he doesn't change direction at his current speed, the mutant beast's claws will scratch his face. However, Tang Haoshan just rushed over and slammed his face into the claws of the mutated zombie. Just when Tang Haoshan crashed into the blade claw as if he was about to commit suicide, another figure quickly passed in front of Tang Haoshan and knocked the mutated zombie sideways. Since it was no longer standing, so when Tang Haoshan arrived, what appeared in front of Tang Haoshan was the head of the mutated zombie. Without even thinking about it, Tang Haoshan inserted the military thorn in his hand directly into the eye of the mutated zombie, killing the mutated zombie. For the others, the situation is similar. Those responsible for disrupting, those responsible for defense, and those responsible for killing all perform their duties. All the evolvers, under the command of Doomsday, cooperate with each other even more tacitly than the Guardian Legion. Constantly killing mutant zombies on the platform. When the loss of mutant zombies had reached about 80, the mutant skeletons finally began to withdraw their troops. The mutant zombie king roared loudly, and then retreated with the remaining mutant zombies. Under Doomsday's command, everyone did not pursue them, but after cleaning up the surrounding enhanced zombies and wanderers, he took all the mutated zombie corpses back and threw them into the hurricane. Xiaolei. That's awesome. It's like the god of war is alive. Ha 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 ha, Tang Haoshan said excitedly, patting Doomsday on the shoulder. Xiaolei. Isn't this your superpower? Lu Feng asked with some suspicion. That's right. But it's quite energy-consuming. Doomsday shook his head and looked a little pale. During this period of time, Doomsday's mental power was highly concentrated. He not only had to watch the actions of the mutated zombies and judge their next move, but also command the actions of these evolvers, and also take into account the cooperation between them. It can be said that the consumption of brain power is quite large. Now that this stage of the battle is over, Du Enlai's tense nerves have also relaxed. He felt a little dizzy unconsciously, but he did not show it because Lu Feng and the others' morale has just risen, and Du Enlai does not want to attack them. Moreover, since Du Enlai can enter the state just now, he doesn't know how long it will last. Du Enlai was right. The state he just entered should be regarded as a superpower, because although it is not as violent as a thunderstorm and does not fall into any attack category, this state is not an ordinary state. It is somewhat similar to Wang Feng's. Sky Eye is an auxiliary power, but Du Enlai's power does not consume physical strength, but mental power. Fortunately, it didn't consume physical strength. Otherwise, Du Enlai would not be able to activate this kind of power in his current state as an ordinary person. This superpower appeared automatically after Du Enlai entered that ethereal state just now and absorbed all the remaining life energy in his body. Because his evolutionary direction was originally the intelligence attribute, his superpower also developed towards intelligence. The function of this auxiliary ability is to cover a certain area and analyze and predict all creatures in the area after it is activated. This is the real reason why Lu Feng and the others have been fighting for so long without losing anyone, because Du Enlai has arranged everyone's action routes. It can be said that Du Enlai was playing chess just now, with the mutated skeleton. In this game, Lu Feng and the others were just Du Enlai's pawns, and all their action routes were carefully predicted by Du Enlai. Even if they were injured, Du Enlai could be sure that the injuries would not have a big impact on the evolvers on his side. Therefore, although Lu Feng and the others were basically all injured, no one's injuries would affect their actions. Even Tang Haoshan, who seemed to be the most seriously injured, only had a nearly 1 foot long cut on his chest by the mutant zombie, and no bone was injured. Bandage all the wounds. I guess the real decisive battle is coming soon. Du Enlai looked at the zombies that seemed to be attacking slowly, and said solemnly. Du Enlai was not in a relaxed mood now. Although he had just killed more than 80 mutant zombies, plus those killed by himself, nearly 200 mutant zombies had died in their hands, but there were still more than 200 mutant zombies in the hands of the mutant skeleton. The most important thing was that the mutant zombie king had not made a move yet. He did not know their strength, and he might make mistakes in judgment. Not to mention the mutant skeleton itself. Although he only saw it in a hurry, judging from the mutant skeleton's body without a trace of flesh and blood, which was all bones, it was estimated that its body must be extremely strong. Du Enlai even thought that even if the mutant skeleton stood there and let them attack, they might not be able to cause fatal damage to it. However, Du Enlai could not say these speculations now, and could only remind everyone from the side. Everyone be careful. If a huge skeleton appears later, attack its joints first. If it doesn't work, give up and hide from it. Kill those mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings first, Du Enlai said in a weak tone. Xiaolei. Are you okay? Lu Feng noticed that Du Enlai's situation seemed a little bad, and other evolvers also looked at Du Enlai. It's okay, I overused my brain. I'm a little tired. After solving these zombies, I'll have a good sleep. Du Enlai smiled. Well, I'm glad you're fine. Lu Feng didn't ask any more questions, because no matter whether what Du Enlai said was true or not, they couldn't lose Du Enlai now. The attack that was coming was only more fierce than the previous wave, and it would not weaken. Without Du Enlai, they might not be able to hold on for a few minutes. At this moment, they suddenly found something wrong, because the gunshots of the guards had stopped. Looking up, they found that the corpse tide was no longer attacking, but stayed on the periphery, quietly waiting for something. Are you going to retreat? Li Gu couldn't help but say. No, Du Enlai shook his head, the final battle is coming soon. Du Enlai was right. The corpse tide stopped attacking not to withdraw troops, but the mutant skeletons were ready to launch the final attack. In less than 5 minutes, the mutant skeletons appeared in the corpse group with all their high-level zombies and approached Doomsday and his team. This time, the mutant skeleton did not choose that platform, because after its tentative attack just now, it understood two things. One is that Doomsday's big move should not be activated, because when Doomsday activated that ability for the first time, his target was the more than 100 mutant zombies. Just now, the mutant skeleton still sent out more than 100 zombies. Then it thought that if Doomsday's big move could be used, he would definitely use it again. Since it didn't work, it means that it can no longer be activated. Zombies are zombies. Even if they have wisdom, they can't compare with humans at all. They don't understand the trump cards that humans say, but at least this time the mutant skeleton didn't guess wrong. Doomsday's thunderstorm really couldn't be activated. Another thing is that when those humans killed their men just now, they were running around everywhere, and the range of activities was very large. The mutant zombies didn't know that it was under Doomsday's command, because they couldn't understand human language, but it didn't matter whether they understood it or not, because the mutant zombies were ready to press all of them this time. No matter whether it was the mutant zombies or the mutant zombie kings under his command, they were all mixed in with the low-level zombies and attacked these humans together. In the eyes of the mutant zombies, as long as they could successfully kill Doomsday and upgrade themselves to a higher level, it didn't matter even if they became a commander without any troops. They could always find more subordinates. This was the end of the world, and the last thing they lacked was zombies. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 238. And this time, the mutant skeleton did not dare to stay behind and command. It had to take risks. Although the mutant zombie kings were controlled by it, who knows whether they would be affected by Doomsday's body after killing Doomsday. The influence of life energy swallowed up Doomsday's body. In that case, not only would he fail to improve his rank, but he would create a mutated zombie of the same level as himself, so this time, the usually timid mutated skeleton rarely appeared in the attacking queue. Creatures like zombies all act based on biological instincts. Even if they have evolved wisdom, they still keep their instincts in mind. Whether they are mutant zombies, mutant zombie kings, or even the current mutant skeletons, after becoming the leader, basically, they will not let themselves appear on the battlefield. They will only appear on the battlefield after they become the subordinates of more powerful zombies. But now, one look at the lineup shows that this mutant skeleton has decided to fight. In order to become a more advanced life form, it does not hesitate to bring out all its men. In the previous battle, the mutant skeleton has carefully, after seeing Doomsday's strength and weighing it for a long time, I thought that I would be able to successfully kill these humans this time and get what I wanted. This mutated skeleton had seen Doomsday launching a thunderstorm during his time as the mutated Corpse King. At that time, he wanted to absorb Doomsday and the corpse of the mutated Corpse King together, but because of the existence of Wang Feng and the others, coupled with the heavy losses of its power at that time, it was eager to recover and did not persist. Now, both its own strength and its own power have increased significantly, and the mutant skeleton will certainly not let go of the opportunity in front of it. When Doomsday and the others saw the lineup of mutant zombies next to the mutant skeleton, their faces became solemn, because the number of mutant zombies was not more than 200, but close to 400. It seemed that the number of mutant zombies they had seen before not all the mutated zombies arrived. Doomsday's expression was very serious. When he saw the lineup brought by the mutant skeleton, he immediately calculated his side's winning rate in his mind, and the result was less than 10%, and this result was still in without the mutated Corpse King and mutated skeleton taking action. Although under Doomsday's command, when faced with more than 100 mutant zombies, none of the evolvers on Lu Feng's side were lost, and even their superpowers were not activated, but this does not mean that the mutant zombies are against Lu Feng and the others could not pose a threat, and Doomsday's computing power had its limits. At the same time, the more creatures are counted, the greater the consumption of Doomsday's mental power. Moreover, the more than 100 mutated zombies before were already close to the limit of Doomsday's ability. If there are more than 200, Doomsday's mental power will be greatly reduced. Lei can still hold on for a while. At the worst, he will exchange injuries for injuries and kill some mutated zombies first. Although the loss of personnel can no longer be guaranteed, at least the entire army will not be annihilated. But now, Doomsday doesn't have to think about it at all. He knows that he has no way to monitor so many mutant zombies at the same time and accurately calculate their movement trajectories. What's more, there are 6 or 7 mutant zombie kings who are also following the mutant skeletons. Are those around you looking at you with covetous eyes? Xiao Lei. What's going on? Lu Feng came over and asked in a low voice. It's not great. There are too many, beyond my expectation. Moreover, we don't know the strength of those mutant zombie kings. That mutant skeleton, I even doubt that our weapons have no effect on it at all. Doomsday sighed, not hiding anything. That skeleton? That's easy. I'll try it, Lu Feng said, and came to the edge of the defensive formation. Then, he jumped and rushed towards the mutated skeleton. The mutated skeleton did not react for a while, because many people always attack together. Why is one here now? Moreover, Lu Feng didn't have many amazing performances in the previous battles, so the mutant skeleton did not list him as a noteworthy object. Old Lu, Doomsday was anxious, but as soon as his voice came out, Lu Feng had already jumped out of the defensive formation and rushed into the group of corpses. The distance of 50 meters was for an evolutionist, even a powerful one. It's not that far away either. After Lu Feng rushed into the group of corpses, he rushed towards the mutated skeletons. When Tang Haoshan and others saw this situation, they had no time to stop them. Those who wanted to catch up were stopped by Doomsday, because Doomsday thought of Lu Feng with his special ability. Maybe Lu Feng will not necessarily die this time, and even if they go, it will be too late. After Lu Feng rushed into the zombie tide, before the mutant zombies sent by the mutant skeletons to attack him rushed over, he activated his superpower, Invincible Impact. Lu Feng's body jumped up and pounced in the direction of the mutated skeleton. At the same time, a golden light flashed on his body. The 4 mutated zombies that rushed to him were directly knocked backward by Lu Feng's body. Going out, the sudden change made the mutated skeleton freeze, but immediately 2 mutant zombie kings closest to the skeleton jumped up and rushed toward Lu Feng. Lu Feng held a military thorn in each hand, completely ignoring the mutant zombie king's attack. The moment the mutant zombie king came into contact with Lu Feng's body, he was also directly knocked away by Lu Feng and came to the front of the mutant skull. And then, the military thorns in Lu Feng's hands had pierced the mutated skeleton's eyes with red light and soul fire beating. Doomsday, Lu Wanting, Tang Haoshan and others looked at Lu Feng intently. They did not expect that Lu Feng would rush to the mutated skeleton so easily and launch an attack on its eyes. Could Lu Feng kill this mutated skeleton? Mutated skeleton? Bang! The mutated skeleton whose eyes were pierced by 2 military thorns did not seem to be injured. The 2 groups of soul fire in its eyes seemed to be illusory. When the military thorns penetrated, it did not feel any resistance at all. It became straight and pierced to the end, but was blocked by the skull behind the skull's eye sockets. Roar! The mutated skeleton that was stabbed in the eyes was obviously very angry. He swung his right arm bone from bottom to top and hit Lu Feng's chest hard, knocking Lu Feng backwards and falling out. Fortunately, Lu Feng's superpower was still within the duration, and he did not receive any real damage. He just used the mutant skeleton's attack to return to the defensive position. It's just that the mutant zombie's strength was a little too strong, and it actually knocked Lu Feng's body directly into the middle of the platform behind the defensive position, flying a distance of nearly 100 meters. Wanting Shiu. You guys go and take over, others, get ready to fight, Doomsday shouted loudly. From Lu Feng's attack, it can be seen that the flashing red eyes are not the weakness of this mutated skeleton. Even the two groups of red light didn't seem to be substantial, and judging from the reaction of the mutated zombie after being stabbed, Doomsday also knew that it seemed that the weak point of the mutated skeleton was no longer in front of it. Because when Lu Feng rushed in front of the mutant skeleton, its hands made of white bones did not make any defensive movements. Even the two mutant zombie kings flew forward to attack Lu Feng. He used one hand to attack, and the other hand stayed near his eyes, as if he was ready to resist Lu Feng's attack at any time. Zombies are not human beings, and they don't have so many thoughts. When fighting, high-level zombies above mutant zombies will protect their own weaknesses extremely well. For example, the mutant zombie that was first killed by Wang Feng and the others would use your claws to cover your eyes. And this mutated skeleton has no cover. Does it have no weaknesses, or does its weakness lie behind it? Doomsday now only hopes that it is the latter, but at the same time he also knows that this hope is slim. What is behind the skeleton? Bones, nothing but bones. But, to Doomsday's expectation, the mutated skeleton did not immediately command the army to launch a counterattack after Lu Feng's attack. Instead, it began to look at the people in the defensive formation more carefully. Although Doomsday felt he was confused, but since the mutated skeleton didn't attack, Doomsday naturally wouldn't take the initiative to attack either. At this time, it had already become completely dark. Under the illumination of incendiary bombs and illumination bombs, the corpses in front of them looked even more ferocious. Especially, they extended into the darkness where the illumination bombs could not reach, which made people even more frightened. A feeling of endlessness. Lu Feng returned to the defensive position accompanied by the two women. He was not injured because his superpower is called Invincible Impact, which means he can launch a sudden burst of distance and have an incidental impact. During the continuous stage of the superpower, his whole body is in an invincible state. This is also the reason why those mutant zombies and mutant zombie kings were knocked away by Lu Feng. But this time Lu Feng also had some luck. If the mutated skeleton didn't slap Lu Feng away with a wave of his hand, but didn't move him until his powers disappeared before taking action, Lu Feng might have died among the corpses. Look. Looking at Doomsday, Lu Feng looked a little heavy. He glanced at the mutated skeleton again, and then shook his head. No. It's too hard. The bone at the end of the eye socket can't even penetrate. And he doesn't have any defensive moves? I guess this guy is not something we can kill. Let's do other things first. The mutated corpse king's weakness is also in his eyes. I saw the reaction of the two mutant zombie kings just now. Doomsday nodded. Lu Feng's observation was the same as his own speculation. Now, I'm afraid he has no choice but to avoid this mutated skeleton first. Doomsday only hopes that its character will be the same as other zombie leaders, and that it will be more self-respecting. Will not be involved from the beginning. At this time, the mutant skeleton seemed to have finally made up its mind. After roaring, the mutant zombie kings and mutant zombies beside it, surrounded by low-level zombies, began to slowly approach Doomsday and the others. Haha. Looks like it's time for me to take the field. The figure who had been standing on the outside watching the battle also chuckled lowly at this moment, and stepped forward towards the battlefield. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 239. Chief. He's waking up soon. In the space, 4 people stood outside the captain's room of the space battleship. They were wearing helmets in 4 colors, yellow, blue, green and red. The blue helmet among them knocked on the door and said, I don't know why, but my leader has never liked to use various communication devices. He said he hates the feeling of being found at any time. For the leader's remarks, at least now, these 4 people absolutely disagree. There is no need for communication. Equipment, isn't it possible to find you here? It seems that since leaving his hometown, the leader has left the captain's room only a handful of times. The door opened, revealing the somewhat old face of the leader. Then get ready and send him back. I'll go too. Chief. Do you want to go to that planet too? Blue Helmet was a little surprised. Of course. I said I wanted to meet him. Oh. No. It should be said that I want him to meet me. It's really hard to say that on this planet. The leader shook his head. But, Chief, the air on this planet is not very good. How about, I go get you a helmet? Blue Helmet hesitated. No need. I won't stay long, I'll leave after just a few words. The leader refused. Okay. Please wait a moment, we will call you when we are ready, Blue Helmet said respectfully. Go, the leader nodded, then closed the door. Then, he came to the ship window next to him, looked at the boundless universe, sighed softly, and said something with a very weird pronunciation. It should be the Kali tribe's own language, so Lao Huan didn't understand what he said. A spaceship silently flew out of the belly of the space battleship and flew towards Wang Feng's planet. It soon entered the planet and then slowly landed 10 kilometers away from Haki City. Then, the Blue Helmet held the Wang Feng, who was still unconscious, walked out of the spaceship and gently placed Wang Feng on the ground. Killer Sang Xiao also walked out with him and quietly disappeared aside. The old man also walked out of the spaceship, then looked at Wang Feng and asked softly, how long will it take for him to wake up? Report to the leader. 5 minutes at most, Blue Helmet replied respectfully. Okay. You go up first. Come and pick me up after he leaves. The old man nodded and said. Chief. This. Lan Helmet looked at Wang Feng hesitantly and said. Don't worry. He won't attack me. Go quickly. We can't let him discover the spaceship. If he becomes suspicious of us, it will ruin my plan. The old man waved his hand, with a hint of impatience in his tone. Yes, Blue Helmet didn't dare to say more and hurriedly walked towards the spacecraft. As he entered the spacecraft took off again and soon disappeared into the night sky. This time, the shining lights on the spacecraft did not light up. Plus it's dark, so it's not eye-catching. Wang Feng slowly opened his eyes and saw the night sky above. Then he suddenly remembered what happened before he fell into coma and jumped up from the ground. Am I not dead? Impossible. Those 2 missiles, it's powerful enough to blow me to ashes. Wang Feng quickly touched his face. Huh? It's warm. He pinched it again and jumped a few more times. It feels. That means this is not a dream. No. It shouldn't happen even after death. Dreaming. Could it be that I? Wang Feng suddenly opened his eyes wide. Holy crap. Did I travel through time? He suddenly remembered the time travel novels he had read online before. The old man at the back looked at Wang Feng bouncing in front of him with a black line, his face full of depression. He didn't know whether he was right in choosing such a guy. I've traveled through time. Then who am I? No. I have to find someone to ask, Wang Feng said to himself, then turned around and found the old man standing behind him. Huh? Is there someone here? Wang Feng's eyes lit up. Old sir. Where is this place? What is my name? The old man pointed helplessly at Wang Feng's lower body. Young man. I admit that your skills are very good, but are you really used to this? Wang Feng looked down and was immediately embarrassed. He was wearing nothing, because he turned around just now, and little Wang Feng was swinging around, showing off in the wind. Wang Feng habitually checked his apocalypse space. Fine. All the things I had put inside were there. I quickly took out a set of underwear and a set of camouflage uniforms. They were fully equipped from the inside out, and then I looked at the old man again. But this time Wang Feng came to his senses. Since the apocalypse space is still there, and the materials and mutated beast corpses he had before have not been reduced, and even the ammunition for the 6-barreled machine gun is there, Wang Feng understands that he is not what happened to time travel, but he really didn't die, and the person who saved him was probably the old man in front of him. Well, old sir. Excuse me, did you save me? Wang Feng looked very polite this time. Even if the old man didn't save him, at least he didn't just come here. When he was unconscious again, there is no harm to oneself, which means that at least the other person has no ill intentions towards oneself. Yes. I saved you, the old man nodded. You are a good person, willing to sacrifice your life to save others. Humanity needs people like you now. I happened to pass by, so I saved you. Are you a third-order evolver? Wang Feng asked in surprise, but then his expression changed. My companions, did they run out? Yeah. He ran out, the old man nodded. As for the specific details, you'd better ask them after you go back. I'm going to tell you something now. You'd better remember it. This is related to whether human beings can continue. Old sir. Are you human? Wang Feng looked at the old man's eyes, a little confused. This old man looked like a human from top to bottom, except for these eyes, which were green and looked very awkward. Of course, the old man said, my eyes are because of my superpower. Without them, I might not be able to find you. Moreover, my other superpower is teleportation, which can instantly transfer a living body to another location. I saved you just by using this power. How long has it been? Wang Feng asked. A little more than a week, right? The old man answered somewhat uncertainly. He was really not used to calculating dates on this planet. Have we been here all this time? Wang Feng looked around. Even though it was night, he could tell where he was because of his clairvoyance. Moreover, he found that his eyes seemed to see farther. For example, now, he saw what seemed to be a battle taking place in Haki City. Etc. Fighting. Wang Feng's expression changed, he turned around and ran away. Wait, the old man quickly stopped him. Don't worry, those are your comrades, but they are not in any danger now. After I tell you something, it will not be too late for you to go. Wang Feng stopped. Although he was impatient, Wang Feng felt that this old man would not deceive him. Since he saved himself, how could he harm him again? Didn't you just say that they have run out? Why are they still in there now? Wang Feng was a little confused. The old man clearly said that he had been in a coma for a week. Why are there still his comrades in Haki City now? Yeah. They ran out. I saw it with my own eyes. A monster with red body and no flesh on its arms and thighs rescued them. Even the more than 600,000 survivors were rescued. The old man said, because they got the news from the third primary school, their spaceship stayed in the sky at that time, and saw the situation clearly, and now they can use it to cover up their lies. Monster? Is it Xiao Wu? Wang Feng guessed, but he immediately realized that now is not the time to dwell on this problem. He must quickly remember what the old man wanted to tell him, and then go to Haki City, over there. His comrades are still fighting. What do you want to tell me? Tell me, Wang Feng looked at the old man and said softly but solemnly. What he said was to show that since the old man asked him to remember his words, then Wang Feng would definitely remember them in his heart. Yeah, Wang Feng's attitude satisfied the old man. He nodded, and then said, first of all, you have to remember one thing. You must grow up as soon as possible. It is almost a year away from the day when the skyfire of the end of the world comes. When 1 year expires, the planet will undergo great changes again. From that day on, human life will be even more difficult. Therefore, if you want to survive that crisis, you and the people around you must grow up as soon as possible, and remember that you can save more people, but the territory, there is no need to expand, your current location is fine, although the sea is equally unsafe. But believe me, after another drastic change, the land will be far more terrifying than the ocean, the old man said to Wang Feng seriously. How did you know? Wang Feng suddenly became alert after hearing the old man's words, so he asked. Superpower, the old man pointed to his eyes, seeing through the future. That's my superpower. It's just that I can't see very clearly, so I can't tell you what will happen that day, but I can be sure that when that day comes, this planet will definitely undergo great changes, and the humans on the planet will also experience greater dangers. It's up to you whether you can continue human civilization. Superpower, Wang Feng relaxed his vigilance after hearing that the old man had a superpower. Wang Feng believed in the magic of superpowers. At least, Texas's superpower was able to see through people's hearts. In the world, the human heart is the hardest thing to understand. Compared with Tessie's, seeing the future is nothing special. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 240. Wang Feng learned that the old man's power could predict the future, and he immediately asked with hope, Old sir, can you see the final outcome of mankind? When will this apocalypse end? Will mankind become extinct? The old man shook his head. I can't see that far, at least, I only see this now, and I also see that you are the hope of mankind, otherwise I will not save you. I only hope that you can lead you people, keep going and leave a little fire and hope to mankind. This is a map. I have marked the areas I have explored in detail. There are dangers, supplies, survivors, etc. I have marked them in detail. I hope it can be of some use to you. The old man said, took out a paper map and handed it to Wang Feng. Remember. Hurry up, the 1-year deadline is coming soon. I hope you can get through that disaster smoothly. Wang Feng took the map and found that it was a hand-drawn map, but it was very detailed. Even his hope base was on it. Naturally, it also included Haki City. However, Wang Feng was surprised to find that there was also a map at Heilong Bridge. There is a danger mark on it, and the note says, after level 5, you can explore. Old sir. What does this mean? Is it that turtle? I have already killed it. Wang Feng looked at the old man and asked. No. It's that passage, the old man's answer shocked Wang Feng. He thought he was the first to discover the cave, but he didn't expect that the old man actually knew about it and also knew that it was a passage. Remember. That passage is not dangerous to you for the time being, and nothing will come out of it. However, you must wait until at least you reach the 5th level biological standard before you can enter that passage. Otherwise, you will definitely die. Inside, the old man said solemnly. Okay. Old sir. I remember, Wang Feng took a breath and replied. Now he felt more and more mysterious about this old man, but he couldn't feel the old man's malice toward him. On my map, there are great suggestions for marking dangerous places. You'd better follow my suggestions and don't take risks. Sometimes, haste makes waste. If you want to save mankind, you can't rely on a moment of blood and energy. Yang, the young man next to you did a good job, the old man continued. You seem to be very familiar with the people around me, Wang Fengqi asked. Haha. Didn't I say I saw them break out? So I have a little impression of that young man. The old man seemed a little embarrassed. In fact, he naturally knew Duan Lei and others through Sang Xiao. For him, his original plan, Wang Feng was all he needed, but after hearing Sang Xiao report to him in detail about the people around Wang Feng, he suddenly felt that it would be good to have some people around Wang Feng to help him. Anyway, if they are not needed at that time, or if they become an obstacle, getting rid of them is just a matter of waving the hand, and it is not troublesome. The old man has no feelings for the people on earth. Those words he said before were just to gain trust. Wang Feng said it deliberately. Wang Feng naturally did not know that this old man was not actually a human being, and because he believed that the old man saved him, he had no sense of precaution. For Wang Feng, the person who saved his life had no purpose whatsoever. Seeing is also a lifesaver. You can repay his kindness as much as possible without violating your own principles. Old sir. Where do you live? How about? Go to our Hope base. It's very safe there, Wang Feng suddenly said, planning to invite this old man to the Hope base. For this strong man who can predict danger, of course I have to invite him with all my strength, and besides, this person is my savior. Haha. Forget it. I'm used to being alone. I actually brought you to my place to treat your injuries. I saw you were about to wake up, so I brought you here because I didn't want to be disturbed in the future. Moreover, my special ability is not suitable for living with others. As for why, I won't tell you. It's useless if you know. The old man smiled and said that he would not live in Wang Feng's base if that guy was there, and his physique was not suitable for living on this planet permanently, so he simply rejected Wang Feng. Okay, hearing the old man's refusal, Wang Feng didn't force himself. Everyone has their own ambitions. After thinking about it, Wang Feng asked, then, does the old man have any other instructions? No more. You just need to remember that when 1 year expires, it is also the day when the sky fire comes. On that day, no matter where you are, don't hide in the building, including all human beings, although I don't know what will happen. What a disaster, but I can feel that it would be most suitable if we were in the open air that day. Okay. I remember it. Can I ask? What is your name? Wang Feng asked cautiously. The old man shook his head. Why should we meet before? We meet by chance. You don't need to know me, and I don't need to know you. We will meet each other if we are destined. Go. Wang Feng nodded, and then seemed to remember something again. He took out the body of a mutant beast from the apocalypse space, looked at the old man and asked, Old sir. I still have some mutant beasts here, please take some back eat. Wang Feng is no longer afraid of exposing his apocalypse space. When the old man asked, he said it was his own power. He even had time powers, but he couldn't have space powers. Wang Feng didn't know that his old man Tiankai had known about it for a long time, and even seemed to know about the existence of Tiankai before him. The old man looked at the mutated beast in Wang Feng's hand and shook his head. I have been a vegetarian for many years. Forget it. With good intentions, you should leave quickly. Your comrades may need your help. Wang Feng nodded. Bowed to the old man, Old sir. I cannot thank you enough for your kindness. I hope to see you again in the future. Take care of yourself. If you have anything to do, just go to the Hope base and see me. The door of the Hope base will always be open to you. Say it. Wang Feng ran towards Haki City without knowing it. The old man looked at Wang Feng's leaving figure and sighed softly. When I find you next time, I really look forward to your performance at that time. Seeing Wang Feng leaving, the spaceship fell silently again. The old man turned around and entered the spacecraft. The spacecraft did not stop, directly rose into the night sky, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Wang Feng ran towards Haki City. As he started running, he realized that his speed was much faster. Then he remembered to feel his body carefully. This feeling made Wang Feng surprised and happy. He found I have advanced and become a third-level evolver. Although the speed bonus of the blast is still 300%, it consumes less physical strength. Moreover, his physical strength seems to have increased, but he doesn't have time to experiment now, and he doesn't know how much it has increased. But now Wang Feng at least knows that his strength should be much greater than before. He can feel the strength from his feet. It can be felt that his strength seems to have at least doubled, which means that his previous shortcomings are no longer so weak in strength. Just when Wang Feng was feeling proud, he suddenly felt that someone was chasing him behind him, so he immediately stopped. He thought that the old man might have changed his mind and wanted to follow him back to the Hope base. However, after turning around and seeing the figure behind him, Wang Feng realized that he had guessed wrong. However, the person who came was also an acquaintance. It was killing the third young master. Because of Wang Feng's advancement, it seemed that killing the third young master was chasing him. Some suffering. Xiaomi Sanzai came to Wang Feng. They all bowed but did not speak. Have you been following me? Wang Feng asked. Yes, killing and Ming Sangxiao were still the same, with Wang Mi as the spokesperson. Okay. Let's talk as we walk. Wang Feng turned around and continued towards Haki City. Because his comrades were fighting there, although the old man said that they were not in danger for the time being, Wang Feng still wanted to get there first. You detonated the missile directly at that time. We had no way to rescue you and could only watch helplessly. Xiao Shami Sangxiao followed Wang Feng and ran together. Wang Mi said. Originally we thought you were dead, but we felt your breath appear far away, so the three of us decided to chase you and have a look. Wait a minute. Can you feel my breath? Wang Feng asked. He didn't know about Sanxiao's special ability yet. Yes. It's Wang Lu's, Wang Mi replied. The abilities of the three of us are basically the same, only some special auxiliary abilities are different. Tell me about it. Wang Feng had never asked Sangxiao about his powers carefully before. Our abilities are the same as stealth and instant strike. Stealth is a special ability that hides oneself. Instant strike is a skill that suddenly bursts out and stabs the enemy from a distance. Generally speaking, the three of us are more suitable for assassination, but my auxiliary skill is breaking attack, which ignores defense. Wang Lu's is tracking. As long as he comes into contact with someone, he can sense their direction and approximate location. We used Wang Lu's skill to find you, and Wang Lu's auxiliary ability is Flash, which is actually teleportation, but it disappears instantly and immediately appears some distance away, and can pass through obstacles. So that's it, Wang Feng nodded, and then asked, then you found me later. Found it. We have been tracking the old guy's residence, but it seems that he has no intention of harming you, and is still treating your injuries, and his healing effect seems to be very powerful, so we have been lurking around until now, Wang Mi replied. So, what he said is true? Wang Feng asked. Yes. It's all true, Wang Mi said without changing his expression. That's good, Wang Feng nodded, then looked forward, and suddenly his face changed. No. Hurry. After saying this, Wang Feng no longer cared about the speed of San Xiao, and accelerated suddenly, heading towards rapid progress ahead. Because the distance to Haki City is now very close, through the sky eye, Wang Feng has seen the situation of Duan Lei and the others, and immediately felt something bad, so he immediately activated the blast and rushed over as quickly as possible.